Hey guys, what is going on? It is Frank Darty, and welcome to a new video. I figured to bring kind of a cool video for you guys. It's gonna be a little bit of a lengthy video, so if you don't want to watch it, then I don't know, do something else. But if you want to stay tuned and watch this video, I hope you like it. And yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so let's get on with the video. So I'm guessing by the title of the video, this involves Simplex pulse stations. So I came up with the idea. I'm kind of just going to discuss the evolutions of the Simplex T-bar. Well, not exactly the T-bar, but Simplex pulse stations in general, from like the Simplex Chevron they used like in the 50s and 60s to like the newer 2099s and 4099s they use today. So I guess we're gonna have to start off with the Simplex Chevron. Let me move this nightstand out of the way real quick. So the Simplex Chevron has been around for a long time. I could be wrong. I believe it's still being made today by A.R.A. But it's a really good pull station. It's all metal. The problem with these pull stations is usually on the back of them, you'd have these really big capacitors in the back. So it became very difficult when mounting them, and also if that capacitor didn't work anymore, the pull station wouldn't work. So to pull it, you just have to pull it down like that. It's really not hard to pull. Usually every Simplex pull you see will have a brake rod, and if there's not one in there, that means it's been pulled sometime in its I guess it being up on a system. Let me get my keys. Let me get my Allen wrench. But this one is in really good condition. Here's the inside. This Chevron has been modified because this cover was the cover to my first Chevron. The back, though, is to my second one, because the second one I got, it didn't have the lock on it, and I didn't want to take the lock out and damage anything. So what I did was I just kind of took apart the cover from my first one, and put on this, because the only thing wrong with the other one is the button didn't work. So I basically made this pull station as new as I could. There is some chips and dents in it, there is some paint scratches, but the first Chevron I got, and I'm pretty sure the second one I got, both came from a building. The one I got first came from an old hospital that's still actually there today. Most of its original devices. Yeah. So the Chevron, probably around the 80s, I want to say, started to get replaced by my personal favorite pull station, the Simplex 4251-20 series. And just to be clear, everything up till the 2099s and whatever, the 4099s, they were all 4251 models. Like, I don't know if you can see it there, but the model is 4251-111, I think. So, and this pull station is very, very old. And the Simplex model was not the first model ever made, but it's not exactly common either. I think the first maker was Couch or IMB. I could be wrong, but it was one of the two. So anyway, we're going to move on to the Simplex T-bar. The Simplex T-bar is the face of Simplex today. It might not be the 4251. However, the 4251 is what started all of the Simplex pull stations today. So, is this light on? There we go. Just want to have as much light as possible because this isn't picking up a lot of light. But the Simplex T-bar, this is mostly plastic except for the back. The back is all metal. The button part is plastic though. But it's all metal on the back. There's metal in here, the lock, but the cover is plastic. Now, this is good plastic, unlike the one you see on the newer 2099s, because it's not as thick, and it's also, I guess it's a little more cheaply made. But there were 3 generations of this pull station. The first generation didn't have this little arrow on it, and I think it I don't know, I think it was a little different than the others. I'm not exactly sure. I've never owned one, I don't believe. But this is the second generation. Second generation, the handle is completely filled in compared to the newer T-bars. The lock is kind of old, but the locks work really good on these pull stations. There's the tag for it. If it'll focus. Hang on, give it a second. I'm hoping it'll focus so you guys could make this out. But, so Simplex Time Recorder Co. Of course, it just went out of focusing. It says 3 amps, 25 volts AC, 5 amps, 124 volts DC. That's just the max power these can be run on. Type 4251-, and there's a 20 printed there. And then there's some other stuff like the FM labels and the UL listings. But I am a very big fan of this pull station. I have this rare model of the pull stations, a 4251-22. There's no button in it. I need to get some buttons for these. I need a button for this one and this one. But I think this doesn't have a bolt in it, so the lock's going to be a little loose. But, yeah, it's ripped off on here, but you can see it says Simplex 4251-22. This is authentic because if I were to take these off, but I don't want to take them off because they're really small bits. If you were to take this off, the fire lettering, there's nothing on there. It doesn't even say Simplex on the bottom. This was just these were used for like ventilation systems, or if there was smoke in an event, you'd pull this and it would like turn on a fan and it would, I think, suck up all the smoke out of the building. This would be practical for like maybe a hospital or a retirement home or something where a lot of smoke can cause a lot of damage without there even being a fire. Then you had the models like the 4251-30. I'm actually going to disconnect this real quick. Hang on. Alright guys, sorry about that. I had to disconnect the this from power because I would have set off an NS and I don't want to do that right now. But this is actually a newer one, but I'll get into that in a little bit. These are basically, there'd just be a break glass piece over it. You probably know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then just search it up. Simplex 4251-30, you'll find a picture of it. But there'd be a hammer on the front, and you smash the glass on there with a hammer, and you just pull the pull station. The inside is actually a little different compared to the 4251. It's got some more stuff in it. Like, there's holes in here for the little piece where the hammer goes. There's just a ton of stuff here. There's a couple of tabs at the bottom of the pull station for where the thing would click on. One of them is broken off, and I actually do have the piece that would go on. It's like a little square plastic piece. I don't know exactly where. Oh, here it is, actually. Here it is. So I'm going to try to put this on real quick. But yeah, so you'd have the hammer on there. This is also broken. There's a crack in there. And then that's how it would look like, and there'd also be a hammer on there. But yeah. Anyway, but these were also made in multiple generations. I think along with the original 4251. This is the second most common variant of it, other than the 4251-21, which was a 4-wire version. And this is just a break glass version. So I'm not going to get into detail on all the models because I don't know what they all are. I'm just kind of going to go off the basics because they did make different variants, like a local alarm version, like that one. Just you guys get it. But the reason why I'm talking about this one so much is because it's actually very common to this one because it's just very close to it. So this is actually a 3rd generation one. The way you can tell is you can pull it and you see there's actually grooves in the T and also back here. If I were to go over here and pull this one, there's no grooves at all. So apparently, what they decided is you need to have some sort of grooves on the newer T-bars, because I don't know why that is, but apparently it's not up to code if there's not in the T-bars. So I don't know why that is. But yeah, there's newer grooves in this one. This is the 3rd generation. It's not very different from the 1st gen. It would still have the sticker. I think they'd have the sticker on the sides instead of the top, like this one. But there's not really much difference. The backs would be the same, like the buttons. By the way, these are what the backs look like on these things. There's just a button and a terminal block. See, there's 4 terminals. Not all of them are hooked up, but there's a hole in there. That's where you'd insert like a GA switch, a general alarm switch. So if it was a 2-stage system, you pull it, and you'd open up the pull station, you'd insert your key, and you turn it, and it would go from like a 1st stage to full blast, letting you know there actually was a fire. But yeah, you can do that with all the 4251s. You can insert a key switch in there. They all have it. That one has it. This one also has it. Yeah, but that's another variant of the 4251 they have. But they actually did make, when the 2099 started coming out, there were some 2099s that looked like this. There were some addressable ones with, I think, MapNet modules. I'm not sure. I don't think it was IDNet. I could be wrong. Correct me if I am wrong. But they would also, the one with the GA switch, I believe, there were the 4251-30 most commonly had a GA switch for some odd reason. It would just be the 4251-30 GA. But the newer ones that had the GA switch would be like the 2099 somethings. I don't remember. I saw them on eBay a while ago. I don't remember the model number though. I should have written it down. But yeah, that's what those holes are for, if anyone ever wondered. So let's move on to the newer 2099s. Well, this is an older one. Those are the newer ones, but this is an older 2099. It's not exactly a 4251 because it has the newer Simplex logo. And if you want to also see a comparison, they're also, the red that they have is also kind of darker. This one's a lot lighter. This one's darker. But whatchamacallit. So if we pull this pull station is very dirty because it also came out of a hospital, the same hospital as the Chevron. But yeah, it's very dirty in there. But as you can see, it's like the 3rd generation 4251-30. Not much difference in the back. The little springs, the levers in there, they're actually a lot different than the ones in the 4251s. Because if we open this one, we can see how there's the spring goes right there, hits that side, and it also locks in the T-bar. But in this one, and the newer ones altogether, there's just one piece here. It goes there, and it gets stuck into the side. You can't really see it, but that's how the newer ones work. Now, if you can see, this also has a yellow sticker. The yellow stickers were used in a lot the older pull stations, so that's how you can tell if it was older or not. You can kind of see a similarity to these. They didn't use the big terminal blocks anymore because they just weren't ethical. So they just, I kind of sized them down. They didn't have as many terminal blocks in them, but I think you can get them in like 4-wire variants, some newer ones. But that's an older one. There's not too much difference. And then here's the newer ones. Like these were brand new. Like I think these were both made last year in 2016. I got this one on my birthday, and I got this one around, I think, Christmas, I believe. I'm not sure. I forget. But I'm actually going to install one of these real quick so you can I can show the differences a little easier with these. So be right back. Alright, so I just installed a quick back box up here to put this up because I don't want to take any of the ones down real quick. But anyway, here's the new 2099s. Like I said, they're brand new. They look amazing. They do work differently now. I actually changed the lock, but normally if you would go back to one of my first videos where I ever used these, the locks would turn to the right instead of the traditional turn to the left. but yeah, I don't know why they did that. They've always been doing the turn to the left way for a long time. I guess they just decided to do it differently. But this isn't too different from the old 4250 or the old 2099 I have. Works just about the same way. Same spring mechanism, looks kind of same inside. The sticker's white though, and the backs are these goofy looking button things, or buttons on the back where you just, yeah, we've all seen these buttons before. They're a pain in the butt, but I don't know. Here's also the push-in variant. This is the one on the bottom is the 2099-9754, which is just the generic Simplex T-bar. This one is basically the same thing, except for it just has a push-in tab, which can be removed to make single action. But yeah, there's not much different with these. I'm not gonna really get into talk to addressable ones with these. They just have a bunch of like different ID.NET modules and MapNet modules on them. Some of them, I think it's the 4099-9003. They have the little LED on the left side here. You can get custom labels to put across these, like for manual release, sprinklers, stuff like that. They still do make glass brake rod variants. Glass brake variants. Key activation only variants, and they had key activation variants for these as well. But yeah, they're newer. They're not built as well as compared to the older ones. But they still work. They've just kept the design for a long time. Simplex T-bar has been evolved for a very long time. It's been used since like the 70s or 80s. That's a very long time. The only pole station I can think of that's been used that long is the Edwards 270 SPO. These have been used for a while. This is the first model that ever made. It was like made in the 50s, and they still make them today. Just different modifications have been made, like that stupid security screw, but that's really not important for this. But yeah, so I hope I kind of, talked about this a little more. If you want me to do something like this again for a different like company or something like that, let me know in the comments. Figured I'd just have something new for you guys, because I haven't been getting a lot of views on my channel recently. I feel like I just haven't been coming out with like content you guys like, so I figured I'd try doing something like this, and I hope you guys enjoy. But anyway, guys, that's it for now. Let me know what you think of the video, and yeah, thanks for watching, guys.